Real show, here we go. Real show, here we go. You know that it's gotta be that time, so this is what we chant. What keeps on getting them all amped in advance? Come on. You and I rocking out with Iron Man, F.E. You get the general's point of view on top of Roger's rants. We're never tapping out, we're putting the most minutes in. You already know what that's about, you know that winners win. Crush whatever's on task, check the podcast. It's the Champ and The Tramp, let the bomb blast.
UFC 246 wrap up, a couple days since it happened. Obviously, McGregor Cowboy is the fight that I want to really talk about. I'll probably focus on the most, but recap a couple other ones. Macy Barber versus Roxanne Mataferi. But you watch that one, right?
I'm going to just call her Comic-Con because she looks like something you'd see at Comic-Con.
You're right.
Event.
She's like what do you call them? People that dress up, not a LARP, a live action role player. I don't know if that's what it is, but she's into
LARPing. Yes, you're right. Yep.
But she's into Dragon Ball Z. I think she wears like that stuff, to weigh-ins and everything.
Yeah.
She's an OG though. She's been around for a long time. One of the first female fighters. She was on the Ultimate Fighter show. I think she was. I don't know if she was on Eddie's team, but that's the year Eddie coached, or the season Eddie coached. And Macy Barber was touted to be the next big
undefeated,
thing. Right? She's undefeated, touted to be the next big thing.
Very young fighter, very confident fighter. Talks a lot of shit, talks a lot of game,
She
calls out Paige Van Sant, who's a veteran.
She was, but calling her out a lot. She said she wanted to steal some of that thunder.
I liked her. I still like her. I think she's got a lot.
I think she said she wanted to be the youngest champion ever. That was her goal.
Well, the future is her
right.
Her
the
nickname,
future, yeah. And she got beat up pretty good.
She did, but I got to say, honestly, and just a personal opinion, not talking about the rankings or anything like that, she got a lot more clout in my book. She's a tough girl, man.
She showed some tough things.
She had a massive cut. I think she tore her ACL.
Still tried fighting.
I mean, she's a tough cookie, man. That's what champions are made of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
no, but I thought Roxanne showed up.
Yeah,
she was a big dog.
I don't know much about Roxanne.
By a lot,
I don't know much.
Yeah, she's been around for a while. She's not the most athletic. She's not the fastest, but she finds ways to win. She's super competitive. I respect someone like that.
It's one
maybe
of the
doesn't
biggest,
have the most tools, but finds ways to make it happen.
Right. Yeah, I always respect people like that because that's willpower. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some people are just born gifted with natural flexibility and natural, physiques and speeds,
strength,
and
length, all that stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, well, length over here, but
length, yeah. Depends in certain areas.
Very impressive fight. That was a grinding fight. Spent a lot of time on the mat. Macy spent a lot of time on her back, which is
Roxanne dominated there.
Had a big cut.
Cut her up. Yep. Yeah. Was that elbow, you think?
I forget, man.
I was actually down in Atlantic City, Borgata.
Yeah, how was that? I want to talk to you about that.
It was great.
I had the kids.
It was awesome. Me and Renee went down. We had dinner at Bobby Flay's.
Yeah. Had
a great meal, and then sat down. It's like in their sport book.
Okay.
Huge TVs. What was great, I'll tell you, is because I watch go to bars all the time and watch fights. Is you could hear the commentating perfectly clear.
See, I love that.
At a bar, they don't play it. You can't hear it.
Nuts.
It's so annoying. So that was cool. Got to eat, take some pictures, do a couple interviews and stuff like that. But it was a good time.
Awesome.
And I got to see the fights. But of course, I was distracted a little bit throughout some of them.
Right. A lot of fans coming up to you, or?
Yeah, a lot of fans came up. Awesome. Place was pretty jamming. Food was pretty good.
Yeah.
So.
What was the name?
Moneyline Bar and Book.
Okay.
In Borgata, AC.
All right.
But yeah, during that fight, I was messing with some fans and whatnot. But I remember Macy got on the mic, and I hear people talking about it on MMA Twitter, how they're a little upset. The loser doesn't usually get to talk unless it's like a main event or a championship fight.
She sort of grabbed it though, didn't she?
She kind of did.
It was. Listen. You see that sometimes, but it was basically a humbling speech, and she gave Roxanne a lot of accolades.
Right,
so I don't think people are too upset about it.
Right. Well, yeah, I do. I don't think she should have grabbed the mic.
Right.
Kind of, hey, that's you lost, and that's the way it goes. But the fact that what she said, her message wasn't bad. She wasn't being arrogant. She was giving praise to Roxanne, so it's all good.
Yeah.
People want to nail her to the wall for it, but
really?
come on, relax. No, not that big a deal.
She pulled a Kanye.
Yeah. Kind of. You're right. Yeah, no, but and then the next fight was the co-main event, Holly Holm versus Pennington. Now
I don't remember their first fight. I for some reason I remember it. I'm sure I watched it, but it seems like from the way it was talked about, it was pretty much a repeat of their first fight. It was a lot of back and forth action, all stand up. Holly Holm was just better with the striking, So
yeah, I'll be honest. I don't think I saw the first one, or I probably saw it. I just don't remember too much. this next one, Holly closed the distance, put her against the fence, and just dominated position. Really, you know, not kind of uneventful fight, a little boring. I don't know if there might have been some booze in there.
Holly said her performance was a little lackluster at the end of that. She said she wished she had done more and capitalized on more.
You know what? I mean, that's
you know what I remember
find a way to win.
Seeing a little different with Holly this time is typically, you know, she likes to be in the center of the ring, and she did a lot of she pushed her up against the cage a lot, Pennington, and a lot of
that's what I mean. I wonder in the first fight, did she get cracked? Because Pennington could, you know, she's got some heavy hands. I don't know if she got cracked maybe in the first fight, and she thought, let's, you know, close the gap, not give her any, you know, punching space, and just kind of look for takedowns.
Rogan, or one of the commentators, said it was, you know, Randy Couture style, which is what he's kind of known for, pushing you up against the cage and grinding it out.
Beat you up against the cage a little bit. I don't know how much, you know, how many punches she landed up against the fence, but she definitely dominated the position. And hey, that's the name of the game. Raquel couldn't get out of it and create the distance she needed to be effective.
I'm going to be honest with you. I could not stop staring at that little piece of the butt cheek that was hanging out on Holly Holm's ass the whole time. It was like a little sliver of an ass cheek. It was just the right ass cheek, and I just stared at it the whole time. I couldn't look away. I couldn't. Something about Holly Holm.
Why do you think? Probably she's cut weight a little bit. You know, she's falling out of pants.
Well, she's just in shape, bro. She just looks like a
she's
CrossFitter.
Shredded, dude.
She's got abs.
Yeah. And dude, she's 38 years old.
I know.
That's what's crazy.
I know. Preacher's daughter. Those are always the freaks, man.
Yeah.
You turn the lights off, and you know.
A lady in the streets and a freak in the sheets.
I saw Footloose, man. Did you see Footloose?
No.
Preacher's daughter?
No, I didn't
Freaks,
see it. Believe it or
man.
not, I didn't see Footloose.
Really?
Yeah, I really haven't.
Oh, my God.
I should see it.
We're going to watch it and then
classic.
dance down here.
Yeah,
We're going to do Footloose.
That's about your era, right? What,
Yeah.
The 70s?
Yeah.
70s?
Yeah. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
But, yeah, people giving Holly Holm some shit for, you know, being a little boring. But, hey, she won, and that was the objective.
I almost, in a way,
but it's crazy. She's you know, she's like I think she has a bunch of professional boxing.
Yeah, she does. Yep.
Professional kickboxing. Yep. And she was literally trying to grapple, trying to wrestle, trying to, you know, clinch the whole time.
Which is what it's about, right? Constantly improving your game. What you suck at, you have to get better at, because MMA is going to make you get better at it. You're going to get put up against. I mean, listen, being a striker might work in a fight. It might be a striker and a striker, and if you're an exceptional striker, you might beat that good striker. But eventually, you're going to go up against a wrestler. You're going to go up against.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's why you want to play to your strengths, or even.
That's what happened with Conor when he went up against Khabib, really. You know what I mean? I mean, that guy was it's happened to him before. Chad Mendez is a good wrestler, but he kept it standing and, you know.
Got gassed out.
Yeah. Well, Chad, you mean
Chad,
got gassed out,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, again, you're the guy. I like what you said. I like what you told your son. We're not a house that makes excuses, but Chad, you know, I think his excuse after that was it was a short notice fight, correct?
Yeah, well, from what I hear, it was he was in the woods. He's a big hunter. He was like, you know, at camp hunting the whole time, not training, and then they gave him that fight on short notice, and of course he took it. And dude, he did well first round. I mean, you know, he slammed Conor down maybe 3-4 times, hit him with some good shots on the ground,
cut him. Yep.
But then, you know.
You don't know how bad I prayed, bro, that you got that Conor fight. You don't know how bad.
He's
He's right. You can't argue with the guy. I mean, it is red panty night when someone says not because he's the greatest fighter who ever lived, not that he's a bad fighter either, but because it's a fucking huge payday. You don't. You could show up and not say anything, and he's
going to sell the fight.
He's going to sell the fight.
People want to see him win. People want to see him lose.
Right.
You know, that's what it is. I feel like it's to be the biggest name in fighting.
Right. You have
to be polarizing. Half the people have to like it, half the people have to hate you. Floyd Mayweather, Conor McGregor,
Mike Tyson, Ali.
Mike Tyson. Watch out for Mike Tyson. He's got a nasty left hook.
I don't know if you guys know about Mike Tyson, but he was good. Ali, you know.
Yeah.
Big shit talker.
Yeah, he was. And a lot of people hated him for other reasons too. You know, but yeah, all right, might as well go to Conor and Cowboy. What was your prediction? Yeah, we
both predicted the left hand was going to take Cowboy out at some point, which really didn't even come into play until he caught him with one as Cowboy was going down, but it wasn't on the feet. Really, he was already going.
Everybody seems to be talking about these shoulder strikes, like, you know.
This is what me and Frankie are going to get into it right here. And look, I'm a nobody. I've never fought professionally, but I'm going to challenge a seasoned professional over there. I disagree. I disagree with you strongly. I do
disagree with what? We didn't even
because we talked a little. We talked a little bit outside of the podcast room, and you don't think that those shoulder bumps, there was 3 of them, 4, maybe 3, I think. You do not think they were extremely significant. I do.
No, I think they surprised him, yes, and they accomplished what he was trying to accomplish.
What do you think shut his eye? Cowboy's eye was button shut. You don't think it was a shoulder bump?
Maybe.
I mean, he did catch him kind of with a half flying knee, right? You know,
yeah, I don't know if it wasn't got that flying knee much, but
right.
I think maybe the shoulder and the nose kind of.
The head
got him. It got him like rattled. You could see he was squinting his eyes.
Got him.
I think that
kick.
got him, and I think it just surprised him.
Yeah.
But people acting like this is the first time shoulder strikes have been around.
But
it's
again,
just the first time in the biggest light they've been around.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but shoulder bumps mostly, and again, bring his name up again. Randy used to throw a lot of shoulder bumps back in the day because he had people in the clinch up against the cage.
Right.
But correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not a fighter. Isn't it usually to create distance to start? For example, John Jones, to create distance to back up a little bit and maybe throw a big elbow in there or something like that. It's really a distance thing, no?
Yeah,
it's not to do damage. I really feel like Conor did damage with those shoulder bumps. I do.
I don't know. I think it's more a distraction.
Really?
It's just to get you to think about it. It's another thing.
Cowboy, call in. We got an 800 number here, Will. Cowboy, did they hurt you?
They definitely hurt him enough. How about
the head kick? The head kick wasn't clean, right?
It was good. It was clean. It rocked him. That's what rocked him. The head kick rocked him to me.
I think it was the finisher to the shoulder bumps, because he got him clean in the nose with the shoulder bump. I think he got him clean in the left eye, which is what buttoned his eye. And I think the head kick was to the right side of his face, which was his open eye, I think.
It was a left head kick.
Was it?
Yeah, left head kick on his
right
side.
Correct.
Right.
Yep. So it would have been, And I think it was his other eye that was buttoned shut, right? So what buttoned that eye? It had to be the shoulder bumps.
It possibly, or could have been a punch.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, listen, you can get hit in the eye. Listen, you can get hit in the eye.
I'm going to do a little coaching here. Practice your shoulder bumps, okay?
Listen, I'm going to tell you. Just because you get a bump and you get your eye closed, I've been hit plenty of times where my eyes closed and I'm not rocked either, though.
Well, right.
So he could have. Like I said, I think the shoulder bumps were more of a distraction, more of something he had to worry about.
Okay.
Got him a little flustered. He wasn't expecting. He said, "Damn, I was not expecting that." That was the goal. I don't think he was thinking like, "I'm gonna knock this dude out with my shoulder."
He said we all practice shoulder bumps in practice. Everybody does it. Every fighter, right? But this was like next level.
He put it to use.
Yeah. So I don't know. Even Conor pointed to his shoulder when he talked to him on the ground. He pointed to the shoulder. So I think Conor.
Yeah,
seriously,
I mean, it was in the biggest light. He brought it to light. I guess.
Absolutely,
in the biggest stage, he brought it to light. And what do you think's next for Conor?
God, I don't know. I mean, I think Conor. I think he's gonna sail around the world. I mean, that guy just names shit he wants to do and just pulls it off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he's saying he wants to fight. He said he wants to fight again before summer or by summer.
All right.
Who do you think will fight?
Well, in my opinion, in the fight that I'm the most excited about, truly, because Khabib is just such a dominating guy. I think that I really truly believe there's one guy that's going to give him problems, and it's Ferguson. Tony Ferguson, I think, is going to give Khabib problems because he's so comfortable on his back.
No. What fight? Who do you want Conor to fight?
Listen, motherfucker, let me finish.
All right.
I'll come over there and dump you on your fucking head.
I'm not following you.
The winner of that fight.
Okay.
The winner of that fight,
okay.
which I think Tony Ferguson has a real shot at it.
Okay, so the winner of that fight.
I would love to see Conor fight Tony. I would love to see that fight. He's already fought Khabib. You know what I mean? I think he did better than most people.
What do you think about Khabib and Tony?
I think it's going to be. I think you're going to see that go into the later rounds. It's going to spend an incredible amount of time on the ground, and I think Tony's going to surprise a lot of people. Khabib's a mauler, right? He gets on top of you and he mauls you, right? Tony's a finisher on his back. I mean, he can throw some crazy shit up from his back.
Great Darce chokes on his back.
So he's the mentality that guy's got. It's like a Conor mentality. He has no fear. He's not scared, man, at all. He's not intimidated. He's an eccentric, weird dude.
I mean,
he's an eccentric, odd guy, bro.
Take a step back, that guy.
No, he's odd.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still going with Khabib on that one.
Well, Khabib's your boy. I don't blame you. And I think,
I mean, yes, but also I just feel like he doesn't make mistakes. I don't see him getting caught in a Darce. I mean, hey, anything can happen.
Everybody makes mistakes.
It's a fight.
Everybody makes mistakes.
He makes the least mistakes of most guys, and that's why you see him, getting the positions he gets in.
Yeah.
I mean, he's very strong. He keeps things simple. He doesn't overdo things. But Conor, I think he's not going to fight either one of those guys.
Okay.
Say if Khabib wins, supposedly Khabib does not want to fight him. Says he has to win more fights.
Right, I heard that.
To me,
but let's say Tony wins.
Tony, I can see Tony.
You don't think Tony's going to chase that payday? You don't think he's going to? I think he is.
I'm sure.
He already calls him out now. Come on, McNugget. Let's go, McNugget.
Like I said, do I think Conor said he wants to fight before the summer? Mm-hmm. That fight's in April. He's not going to wait for those guys. Masvidal. That's a fight, maybe.
Yeah, I didn't
but
think
I've
about
been,
that. Yeah.
but I've been hearing Masvidal is fighting Usman.
Yeah, Usman.
I think probably Nate.
Fucking Usman annoyed me, man. I like Usman. He's a great fighter, but he annoyed me with the fucking. Like, if you weren't impressed with that fight, bro, like, come on.
He's got to do that. You know he's got to do that, though. Connor's talking junk, saying you're a bum, this and that. You know,
he does it about everybody, that, right? Bro. Everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. You're right. That would be an epic fight for sure. But there's a couple. I
think Connor and Nate, though. That's the fight that's probably gonna happen.
Nate.
I heard it. A couple people say it.
Trilogy.
It just makes sense. It makes the most sense.
Really?
Because Masvidal's fighting Usman.
Masvidal made
Khabib and Tony are tied up.
I mean, he made Nate look bad in that last fight.
He did.
Nate's a gangster, bro. I
would have loved to see Nate get the
that's
fourth.
The mentality that you have because.
Well, that's his style too. Though. He definitely comes on late. I mean, Masvidal was sticking it to him.
I just think it was going to get worse. Right. I hate seeing fights stop because of cuts and shit like that. I hate that.
That was a pretty gnarly cut.
It was a gnarly cut.
No, but then damn, it was gnarly cut. You know.
Yeah, I don't know. There's been some. What's the worst cut you've ever seen? The worst injury.
The worst injury.
Do you remember when one of the worst ones I ever saw was when Rampage? I think it was his first fight in the UFC. He fought that guy that was shredded. I can't think of his name.
Marvin Eastman.
Yes,
Marvin Eastman. I think I fought that night.
That cut over
UFC 67. I think I fought that night. Yeah, I fought that
was a
night.
hell of a cut,
funny story. So he fights Rampage, gets knocked out.
Yep.
After who had the cut? Marvin or
Marvin had the cut, bro. Yeah.
So he I think he finished Marvin Eastman, and I had my first fight with Tyson Griffin.
Oh my god!
Which was slugfest. We got fight of the night. Right. It was nuts. I took that fight on short notice too.
He was so much bigger than you, bro. That's all I remember. Tyson was a monster,
thick.
bro.
He was thick, and I was barely like 153 pounds at the time.
Yeah.
But we're partying in the hotel. I'm young, man. I'm 26, 25. So I'm like, shit, I won. I'm partying with my friends and everything. My parents are in there. Dude, we're being loud. It's Vegas. Yeah. And we hear Marvin Eastman, bang, bang. Hey, you're making too much noise. You need to quiet down.
No shit. He was like in the room next to you?
Yeah, he's in the room next to me. Like, yo, my bad. I'm fucking living life, man. But I get it. Hey, he just got
in a fucking street fight. That guy'd probably be scary. He gassed a little in that fight, which most people do.
We were rolling deep. Rolling deep.
Yeah, you just smoked.
We were rolling deep, bro. We were like 15 deep that night.
Why didn't you say fuck off, Marvin?
No, because I get it. He's a fighter. I'm respect him. All right, you're right. We're being a little loud.
Quentin was in the hotel partying with you guys.
Mm-hmm. I'm a Quentin fan for sure. Man.
But that was that fight here. I got a pretty good story for that fight. So, obviously drank, got hungover.
Wait, the night before you fight?
No, this was after the fight.
Oh, okay.
Listen to skills, bro. Listen to skills. Come on. So, get hungover, fly home the next day. Me and Renee are beefing. We beef always after fights. Not so much now. We're getting a little better, but early on, the emotions of everything.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
That's what I think. She keeps her shit together before my fight. 'Cause she knows she doesn't want to me to sense her.
And she unloads
her nervousness, and then after the fight, it all just goes. And I'm even emotional myself, I guess, in a sense. And so we're beefing, whatever. We're flying home.
I don't think you get emotional, bro. I've never seen you emotional.
I'm dead inside.
I don't think you got feelings, bro.
You might be right.
Go ahead.
So we're flying home, whatever. We land. We get on the shuttle, and I remember the guy was being a jerk. He wouldn't pick us up where we had to get picked up. So now I'm fucking pissed. This guy, I'm pissed at my wife. So I remember I said something to the bus driver, or whatever. Get on the thing, and this dude on the bus is staring at me. And this is
this is when you landed back in Jersey.
Landed. Now, if you remember the fight, I got caught in that knee bar.
Yes,
that bad
it
knee
was
bar.
deep, bro.
Right,
it was deep. Yeah.
My knee popped a bunch of times. So this dude's staring at me, and I'm like, I'm not used to people looking at me. I'm like, dude, what's up, man? What's up? He's like, how's your knee, bro? I'm like, holy shit, bro. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, damn, this guy fucking knows who I am from the fight.
That's amazing.
I'm like, yeah, it's all right. It's all right.
Yeah, let me find my Zen moment. Yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a good one, that fight.
The Tyson fight was amazing, yeah.
back to McGregor and Cowboy. What's next for Cowboy? What do you think he should do? What do you think he's going to do?
Well, he clearly said he's not done fighting.
Yeah.
Not that I think he should be done fighting. He's one of my favorite fighters, bro. I love the guy.
So fun to watch, and you can tell he has a lot of love for it.
Yeah, so I'm sure he's going to continue fighting. I mean, I think that's a guy that obviously, if you fight, you all care about the belt and being the best, but I don't think he's so like into rankings. You know what I mean? There's some fighters that just don't really care about rankings. They just want good fights. They want to put on a good show, and so I think he'll just keep fighting, man. I think he's a fighter. That's what he does. That's what he loves. He's still good at it. He's, so I don't know.
Yeah, I know, but he's 3 knockouts in a row.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I've just got TKO'd myself last fight, so you don't want to see that, time and time again against a guy like Cowboy.
Right.
I hope he comes back, he's competitive, wins the next fight.
I think he's. I mean, he's got a beautiful ranch. Is that BMF? Is it Bad Motherfucker Ranch?
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
Okay, so he was the original Bad Motherfucker, I guess. But anyway, he's just got a cool lifestyle. He's got a wife now. He's got a kid now. He's got his own ranch.
His kid's name's Danger.
I know, dude. It's so
dope,
cool. Yeah,
dope.
I mean, he could call it quits if he wanted to, and he had a hell of a career, man. You know what I mean? He had a hell of a career, but I don't think he will. I think he's just the fighter, the competitive spirit in him. I think he likes it too much, and he's like a guy that goes in there and he looks like he enjoys it. He just looks like he enjoys it,
He does. But I hear he doesn't. Someone told me he doesn't warm up. He doesn't really warm up much.
Really?
Yeah. He's super nervous before fights. I heard that
really?
too.
Doesn't
super nervous. Throws up before every fight.
No
supposedly.
shit.
Yeah.
Does not look good at all.
Yep.
You know who looks nervous before fights? Holly Holm.
She does.
She paces.
I don't know if it's nervous or just super focused,
Yeah.
but she's like super, in the zone, back and
She
forth.
almost looks like she's on cocaine.
I move a lot. I move a lot too
You do.
when
You
I,
do.
I like to stay in motion.
Yeah.
But
You run in the ring most of the
I
time.
run. I always do. I don't know. I did that from day one, and I guess that's kind of stuck with me. It came from wrestling. Wrestling, we used to run out to the mat. You never walk out to the mat. So
Speaking of wrestling, what do you make about? It's been in the national news lately that dad. I mean, the kid that he shoved pulled an illegal move. I don't know a lot about wrestling, but he pulled an illegal move. He slammed his opponent. Right, he picked his opponent up, slammed him, and the dad comes running off to the fucking side.
Ridiculous. I'll tell you,
and smokes this kid.
That's ridiculous.
Didn't punch him, shoved him, but sent him flying.
He linebackered him, bro.
He did. So
listen, the guys who are wrestling were like in high school, right? They were probably over 200 fucking pounds.
Right.
They're not little kids,
right.
And the slam wasn't that bad. I've seen a lot worse slams.
Yeah,
it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
No way to see that dad walk down that mat.
I agree.
At all.
100%. But if you saw, well, first of all, he's paying the price. He's all over the news.
I'm sure.
He's going to be hated. He got assault charges pressed against him. And if you watch that video.
As you should, dude. You fucking hit someone from behind. You know what I mean?
If you watch that video, another dad tackles him and gets him down and gets him in like a rear naked choke.
Really?
So he got smoked on the mat, too.
That's
so,
great.
yeah.
I've definitely been in some, my dad's been in some fights at wrestling tournaments before.
Well, put yourself in your middle child, Tino, right? Mm-hmm. He's a proficcionado. He's a great wrestler. Put yourself in the same shoes. I mean, someone picks up Tino, slams him. Do you just talk shit from the sideline and tell the ref to like do something about it, or do you look at the dad across the thing and say, "Yo, motherfucker"?
At this age, I make sure the ref handles it right away.
Okay.
At this age, they're young still. Like maybe that other kid doesn't know this and that.
Right.
When they're older, I mean, Tino's got to handle that shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As long as he's okay.
Got any stories for me in your wrestling days?
In my wrestling days, I do have one story. I was in 8th grade. I only started wrestling in 7th grade, so I wasn't really great. 8th grade, I started getting my feet under me and started figuring things out a little bit. And I'm at a Christmas tournament, and I'm wrestling the number 1 seed. This kid was supposed to be really, really good, and I'm tie score with him. It was actually like 8-6 or something. And I hit him with a switch. You know what a switch is? No. I switch to get a reversal. And you put my hand like in his leg. He has his hand in my leg, and I lean back, and it kind of like makes their arm hurt a little bit. That's what makes the move effective, and I can get on top for the reversal. So I hit this kid with a switch, and he starts crying. Oh, my arm. He was just tired. He was being a bitch a little bit. And I just tied the score, so now it's 6-6, say. And my dad is like, yeah. And the kid's saying he's hurt, so this kid's mom comes over to my dad and tells him, "You're cheering for my son, or cheering for my son. He just hurt my son." That my dad's like, and the kid was being a bitch. He wasn't really hurt. Right. My dad's like, "Okay, honey. Okay, sweetheart. Whatever." It's just, back in the 90s and everything. And the kid,
Frankie's dad, for you, those of you that don't know, great guy, but very high energy for
Very,
an older guy. Very loud.
So the brother comes over and says, "What'd you say to my brother?" You know, whatever. And my dad's kind of on a knee, talking to me. And my dad just had hernia surgery, so he has staples in his stomach.
Oh shit!
So next thing you know, this dude comes and boom, cracks my dad.
No.
Yeah, my dad gets up. I guess kind of like lat dropped him, like pancaked him, boom, to his back, got on top of him, and then all of a sudden the whole gym cleared and everybody was on top of my dad. I'm kicking people.
You're away.
No, what do you mean? This is right in the mat, center of the mat.
No, I know, but you're not at your own
No,
high school.
we're at like a tournament. It's a Christmas tournament.
Okay.
So we're neither of us at our
Okay,
hometown, but like, you know, there's people from all over.
Gotcha.
So there's people all on the mat. I'm thinking my dad's on the bottom of this pile, so I'm literally kicking people. I'm kicking. The kid I was wrestling, I probably kicked his dad in the face.
No shit.
You know, I'm 112 pounds. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm thinking my dad's under there. You know what the hell? So I whatever. My dad actually ended up crawling out. You know, he said he got the kid. He got beat him up a little bit, pretty good.
Awesome.
But I had to wrestle that match. I had to go back after all that happened. I had to go
sometimes
and
they just
wrestle
throw
that
in
match.
the towel and they'll kill the whole tournament.
Yeah,
if something big happens.
they went not in Jersey, bro.
Yeah, true.
Wrestling's
true,
big
yeah,
here.
True,
No.
true, yeah, true.
So I literally went back, wrestled. I lost that match, and I had to wrestle that kid for the dual meet.
Yeah.
You know, Tom's River West versus
So
Lakewood.
there was bad blood.
I was like, dude. But again, I just started wrestling, so this is all new to me. And I was like, you know, my parents were there. They brought, you know, my grandparents came to that one. Dude, I got smoked. I was the most nervous I ever been in my life for a match.
Shit.
I couldn't sleep the night before. That was like my first big match, you know. I was 14 years old, didn't know how to compete. Takes a while, man. That's not really natural.
Is it because you're such a veteran now and you've had so many fights? I mean, most minutes in the octagon. Was there ever a point in your career where you, like, UFC, your first fight in the UFC? Who was your first fight in the UFC? Was it
Tyson Griffin,
was it? Yeah. I watched that.
Yeah,
fight,
no, by the time I got to UFC, I figured it
Nerves
took
were
me competing. It took me till probably my junior year in college to really learn how to deal with my emotions.
I would be a puker. I get bad anxiety, and it's over the fear of losing. I would move to Canada if I lost a fight, bro, because I would just be embarrassed. So, I would be a puker for sure, especially my first time in the ring. I would definitely throw up.
Yeah, no, ring. I realized, you know, it was probably in high school when I realized, because I used to get so nervous, like my stomach would move, the butterflies and stuff, and then I realized as soon as the whistle blew,
go away.
It goes away.
Yep.
I'm like, dude, why am I bugging out when I know it's gonna go away?
Yeah.
So I kind of found a way to deal with that.
It's a good way to look at it. Yeah.
And throughout college, it was always like the ups and downs. You know, once you go to D1 school, I wasn't a superstar wrestling or anything. I worked hard for it. You know, so there's a lot of ups and downs. You got to learn to deal with that. But that all prepared me for fighting.
Throw some names at me, guys that you're in the gym with that maybe don't have natural skill. You know, I always use the reference of BJ Penn because that guy just seems to me like he's so flexible. It just kind of comes natural to him, even though you beat him 3 times. Guys that really have to work at it. I mean,
Well, I'll tell you one person, and this is not a dig. I have so much respect for this guy because of the story and how he came up, and you know how hard he had to work to get where he is. Is Corey Anderson.
I thought you might say that. Yeah.
This dude, and I found out because
Corey Anderson was a fat kid. No,
he was a fat kid. He was not very athletic, I guess, and you know, not really a hard worker too, which is kind of crazy because he's probably one of the most hardest working people I've met in this sport.
Just coming off a fantastic win, by the way, off Johnny Walker.
Yeah.
Johnny Walker.
Yeah.
Coming off a guy that looked spectacular in the ring in all of his previous fights.
And he was fighting that guy Jan Blazinski, February 14th. Yep,
okay,
Corey.
Awesome.
And he wins that one, man. He's a good chance he should get John Jones.
Yep.
He really should. But him, so I'll tell you, I was at his wrestling tournament with both my sons. This is when my older son was wrestling. Okay. And I think my older son went 0-2. And we're at my father-in-law's for some Thanksgiving type party, something like that. Corey's there, and Corey's like, "How you doing? How'd wrestling go today, boys?" And Tino's like, "Oh, you know, took third." And he's like, "Frankie, how you do?" He's like, "Good." He's like, "Oh," and he goes, "You go 2-0, 1-1." I'm like, "We didn't win a match today, Corey." And Corey's like, "Hey, man, I didn't win a match from your age until I was a sophomore in high school." And this is when he was in 3rd grade, my son. I'm like, "Wait, so you didn't?" Wait, I'm like, "Wait, what?" Corey? You didn't win a match from 3rd grade to 10th grade,
And he's that good of an athlete now.
and now he's one of the best fighters in the world.
Yeah.
But I'm saying to have the perseverance to not win a match, to lose all those matches and still stick with it.
Now, where do you think that comes? Because he didn't have it as a young man.
No, well,
what changed in his life? Let's have him on. Let's have him on.
We will have him on. He shared this on the Rogan podcast.
Oh, okay. Oh, he's on Rogan.
Yeah, he just said one day, I think he said he decided he was not going to be that person anymore. And
I met him.
He wanted something.
I knew him vaguely because he was obviously on the Contender series, but I was at Subway with Jenny back in the day. We were just sitting there having subs, and he was sitting a couple rows away, and he just came over and shook my hand. He's like, "Hey,
he's a good dude,
Corey Anderson. Nice to meet you guys, or whatever." And at the time, I couldn't place it, and I was like, "Oh, fucking Corey Anderson, you're a fighter." So, your name.
He was on my team when I coached.
That's how
BJ.
I remember him.
Yeah.
I didn't. The name didn't ring a bell at first, but I'm such a UFC fan. I was like, "Oh shit, Corey Anderson, nicest guy, man. Very nice guy.
Super nice, yeah. And again, could be fighting for the title very soon.
Amazing, man. Yeah. Amazing."
To go from that to where he's at now,
I'm gonna
hard work. I seen a video about Tyson when Mike Tyson was young, and heavily influenced by Customato. That was his coach, and you could tell he's like, I'm a mediocre fighter. It's all about will and determination. That's really what it comes down to. That's what separates the best from.
Because most people can hone the skill,
it.
right? It's like back in the days when I stunt rode. The guys that were the best were the guys with the most seat time. There were guys that were naturally gifted and it came to them a little easier than other guys. But seat time, if you put in seat time, if you just got on that bike and tried to ride circle wheelies in a parking lot until it was fucking dark every night, you got it and you were the best guys in the competitions because it's seat time.
Yeah, absolutely. Time in is what it's all about in all walks of life.
Absolutely.
If you don't, put that work and put your dedication into something, you're probably not going to pan out.
I'm one of the best serial masturbators ever, bro. I've logged so many hours on Pornhub.
Like with cereal, like Frosted Flakes.
No, cereal.
Like
a killer. Just killing semen though.
Killing semen.
A lot of semen and a lot of socks. Yeah.
Lucky Charms,
just hanging on the wall.
Oh man. So yeah, that was I think a good recap, right? For 242, 246. It was 246, man. I keep doing these MMA ones. I think they're kind of fun too.
Man. That's what. Let's talk a couple things. I think of things and got to ask the Champ boys here. How does one? And I really believe you're going to be in there. How does one get into the Hall of Fame, the UFC Hall of Fame? How does that happen? What is the process there?
I have no idea.
Really?
They tell you you're getting nominated. I don't know.
Is there a committee? Is it a bunch of former
fighters?
So.
It's the UFC, bro. They kind of do their own things. I imagine. I don't think they're. I'm. It's still so new.
Chuck just got in there, right?
Chuck has been in. I'm pretty sure. I think he just got a jacket. That's I think.
Got a golf.
I'm pretty
jacket.
sure he's been in.
Okay.
Should have been at least.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, BJ's in.
He's
in. Uriah Faber's in.
Oh.
And they're still active fighters. Yeah.
Well,
I'm actually going out to.
Both retired and then came back.
Well, no, BJ never retired.
You retired him.
No.
Really?
No.
I thought he said he was done fighting after that.
Nope. BJ never retired.
Oh, okay.
Uriah, though, he did. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, Uriah.
I'm actually going to be out in California, Corona, California, I think it's called, for UFC gym anniversary. Their first UFC gym 10-year anniversary. BJ's going to be out there.
Cool. You guys have good blood now? Everything good?
Oh, yeah. We've always
never really had bad blood, right?
Never. Even from the first time we fought till now, never.
Would you consider that the pinnacle of your career, beating him and getting the belt in Dubai? No, I always say Dubai. It wasn't Dubai, right? It was
Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi, yeah.
Pretty close enough.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, winning the belt's always a.
That was an outdoor fight, correct?
It was, yeah.
Any different pressures fighting outdoor?
It was hot.
Well, true.
It was hot. It was, you're in the desert, but it was nighttime, so it wasn't as hot. I think the fight started like in the afternoon, so early. I'm sure it was hot as shit. Yep. I like it hot. I'm wrestling. I'm used to wrestling rooms. Wrestling rooms are hot, and especially in that fight, I thought conditioning was going to be on my side. So I was like, yeah, I welcome the heat in that one.
Right. Yeah. No, I was here for your parade when you came home. I was back when I was a Frankie fan. Didn't know you that well, and I was took part in your parade. I remember you stood out. That was when you had the other house. You stood out on the front lawn, and there was fire trucks and there was ambulances and everything, like giving him, like a hero's welcome home when he landed, because he was the champ. He put Tom's River on the map.
Cool.
You know what I mean?
That was cool.
Todd Frazier is also a local guy that puts Tom's River on the map, but Frankie always shouts out Tom's River every fight. TR, baby. And so he's very beloved in this area. Ever see yourself leaving Tom's River?
I don't know, man. This is definitely it's changing. It's changed a lot over the past 38 years I've been here. So I don't know. I don't want to
go south. Where you go?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I really don't know.
I'm going to Canada. Those Canada girls are so fucking hot.
Yes, you keep saying,
they
bro.
Are, bro.
That's
Let me show you some in my DM. You want to see?
No, I do not. I don't want to see any DMs. None. No, I would think out of the country if I was going to move. But it's just tough because I have my kids. They want to do sports, and
right.
they're not going to want to leave their friends. So it brings a different dynamic. I can't think just for myself or even just for my wife. I got to think for my kids too.
Future subject. We're not going to get into it now because it could go on for 2 hours. But talking about kids possibly moving and stuff, a lot of people are considering that in Jersey right now because there was a bill that just went through. Trenton went through the Senate. Didn't pass, thank God, but they rewrote it. It's back up, a vaccine bill, and it's a very controversial subject around here, and we should have a conversation about it. Not now, future episode.
For sure, we'll cover that one day. It's definitely a pretty controversial.
A lot of people want to homeschool now because they don't want to vaccinate their children. So we'll talk about that.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But even that, our schools are losing budgets too.
Right.
So they're talking about not having freshman sports.
Yep.
Or you have to pay to play. What do we pay taxes for?
Exactly.
In Toms River, I don't know if you know, Toms River is the biggest suburban district in New Jersey.
Oh, I didn't know
It's the fourth largest overall, and they don't want to give us the money that they always give us. I'm like, how could you not give the biggest district the money that they're supposed to get?
When you say they, the state.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not super political.
Right.
This is shit I hear, I guess around town and whatnot. I don't even read too much stuff because sometimes it's better not to know.
I agree. I'm becoming.
I don't know. I don't know if that's good, but and I realize
it also depends on what you watch. You know, what I mean?
Sometimes I follow Twitter. When you follow Twitter, you see so much of this pop type news that's going around, and I'll ask my wife. She knows nothing. She's like, "Fuck." She doesn't know what the vice president's name is either, but she knows nothing that's going on. So she lives in her own little bubble. So it's almost better that way.
Yeah. No, I agree. Sometimes you see people with an affliction, and they may have some. Whatever they have, they were diagnosed with, and they're in their own little world. And I look at them and I'm like, who's better off, you or me? You know what I mean? Because they're happy. Right. They seem very happy.
Right. Sometimes less is more.
Yeah. So when Renee watches this tomorrow, she's going to be like, did fucking Roger just call me a retard?
He did, Renee. He did.
Oh, so anyway, yeah. Good recap. Yeah. Always good to be down here.
Thanks for listening again.
Champ and the Tramp, guys. Please share, like, subscribe. Load us up on your whatever podcast app you guys have, and we're going to keep doing this, man. We love doing it. It's our bro out time. We come down here in Frankie's basement, and he lives about a mile away from me, so come over here. We ham it up, and hopefully you guys enjoy it.
Yes, sir. Champ and the Tramp, out.
It's just stole Ryan Seacrest line right there.
Is it?
Seacrest out? Yeah.
It does. Well, really? I had no idea.
Seacrest out.
Listen,
that was
the
his
fact
line,
that
man.
you know Seacrest's outro, was that when he's leaving your house, he says Seacrest out?
Frankie had a funny. He had a funny.